effects, but practical fighting and stuff, and we substitute CG, like fighting and violence. We'll do CG bullet entry wounds and stuff, and it's just like, it's like when Rob Zombie did it in fucking, what was the most recent one? Shit, man, I don't even remember. But I was just like, wait a minute. Was it like 3 from Hell? Yeah, that one. And it's just like, first of all, you're a gorehound. Second of all, what the first of all? God damn. It's like number 4 or 5. At least 3 that I've caught. But I just don't get down with that. I gotta have the bullet. Or what else are you supposed to do? I know you can save so much more money, and it's the safety is better for everyone involved if you don't have squibs, as they're called, exploding on someone's chest, or even a stunt double's chest. I understand all of these, but god damn it, for the love of the cinema. So if you're going to burn down a forest, and you're going to have all of your actors and actresses in this environment of a burning forest, I'm sure that they have to show this in the trailer. Like, that can't, there's no way that that's a surprise. It reminded me of a Chinese film called Rise of the Legend, and the final sequence was on the on top of a burning factory roof, and it was pretty hard to watch. Not in terms of violence, in terms of effort made for visual effects. It was pretty brutal. Not Iceman 2 with Donnie Yen brutal, which I'm pretty sure more than once I straight up watched unfinished scenes of CG. Almost for sure. Like the whole thing hadn't rendered yet, and they were just like, fuck it. More than once. That's what makes it like horrible. Like, one would be just terrible. Like, and I understand I'm a weirdo, and if it's a frame, you're just be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking way more in a frame, dude. We're talking like a second and a half where you're like, wait a minute. You would have to see it. You'd have to see it. So on top of, when they're fighting on top of the burning roof of the factory building, it's just like, it'll take you out of it. At least it did for me the first time. Now maybe, I can focus more on the martial arts that are going on, but it's kind of debilitating. It's hard when around you it's, and there were at times in this one where I felt that. Now, not as bad as Rise of the Legend, but still took me out kind of as a viewer. But I understand that I'm the asshole in this equation. I'm the toxic one, because there is no other way that you do it in terms of safety and just an environmental health. It's financial health. Look, I get it, but maybe we should have. There's always cheats around it. There's always cheats that you can do for this. Like, maybe don't go such wide frame to show. I don't know. Here and there, but I don't know where you would do it. That's why I think we held true to the novel in terms of the dialogue, because the heavy shifts there occasionally were jarring, to say the least. I haven't looked at Rotten Tomatoes to see what the people were saying about it, but it's I'm not even going to say that you can't have something super dark and then follow it with something like light and fucking warm. It just, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And this would be one of those times where, like, and I really am focusing on that conversation that's around the end of Act 2, I think, where I was just like, what as if the first action piece, not action piece, but first, like, thrilling moment for Angelina Jolie in the tower and the storm's coming. That first, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna like this one, buddy boy, but you got to be positive. You gotta rewire your brain. You should be happy that you can just sit down and watch a movie right now. You should be happy that you're able to do that. But as some of the dialogue kept coming in, I was just like, oh, I feel like there are too many hands in this pot. That was my exact thinking. I was like, you got Angelina Jolie probably, and she's a respected actress. She's been in the game a long time, regardless of what you think of her publicly or don't think of her at all. Like some of you, I thought she was dead. No, I could see her being like, well, I think, as an actress and as her character, my character of Hannah, I think she would do this. Like, I see a lot of that going on, and not even saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not even saying, oh, she's being difficult. Like I said, she's been in the game for so long. Like, at bare minimum, you have to hear her out. Taylor Sheridan's been in the game almost 10 years. She's been in the game, 30? So, so I see that going on. I see the novelist being like, whoa, like this is pretty bleak. If and Sheridan being like, no, we need more dark dialogue, more violence. Instead, there are moments in this where I felt I was watching a mid-90s horror film. A mid-90s action film. That's what I felt like I was watching, where I was just like, all right, well, fucking, we just have gaps in, not continuity, but we have gaps in contextual tone. Had I thought I was going to, because, I've said on the show before, execution is everything. In terms of a action film or an action thriller, you can't be a slouch anymore. Like, it's almost like, being in the UFC. 15 years ago, you could kind of be a slob and make things work out for you in the UFC and get away with it until, the game evolves. Same as the film game, drama, comedy, whatever, the game evolves. Action thrillers, no exception. So you got to bring the A game. And I felt like, well, there are parts of this that feel more like Firestorm, starring Howie Long. Oh, with the pole. Ella Cinema out of nowhere with the Firestorm pole. But there were parts of Those Who Wish We Were Dead that feel more like Firestorm than they do, and this is unfair again of me to say, than they do Sicario, Hell or High Water, Wind River. And that's not necessarily what I thought I was going to see. I think this plays for a number of you quite well. I think you're like, oh, I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. Well, that's unfortunate. It was fine. It was fine. But I could see I know several that listen to this show be like, I didn't mind it, man. You were banging on it. No, I'm not banging on it. I just saying my expectations, which are almost nil going into anything, there was a lot of hands in the pot. He had 3 screenwriters, a newer director, some tried and true actors, regardless of what I think about Jon Bernthal, or even Nicholas Hoult, for that matter. I'm sure good guys. You have an A-list here, Angelina Jolie, Jon Bernthal, Aidan Gillen, Nicholas Hoult, Jake Weber. Well, Jake Weber, but you've seen Jake Weber in tons of shit. And Tyler Perry's got $500 million in the bank. With it's fucking. He don't need to do no shit movie. And I'm sure when he read the script, he was probably like, "This is really fucking good." And there are parts of it that work extremely well. Like it did hold my attention to the end. I was kind of intermittently checking my phone just because I was just like, "Oh, god damn it!" Like, we are kind of going hardcore with some of the, or maybe we weren't with some of the cliches. Maybe we weren't. I don't know. I know nothing. I don't even know why I have a show. Like I said, this show's for therapy. It's for therapy, man. I needed to talk to someone because in my heart, I got that extrovert blood in me. And last time I talked to someone, I was trolling them about J. Cole. That new album's fine, by the way. I don't know. I think I just like a little bit more grimy. Now, not Pop Smoke grimy, but a little bit more Pop Smoky than J. Cole. I'm just surprised at the love. That's all. Because, like, most of you youngins don't give a fuck. Period. Like, at least in terms of appreciation. So it's just, I guess maybe that's what it is. It's weird to me. We're like, no, man, J. Cole's our guy. So he's fine. That P. Diddy song, I was kind of like, oh, he is not happy with Sean Puffy Combs right now. Goodness. That's not the first, but Puffy let me down ever since he let Shine go to fucking prison for his bullshit. Yeah, a Shine poll and a fucking Firestorm poll in the same podcast. Show your age, Sean. Stand up. Show your age, kiddo. Yeah, there's some things to like. I'll still follow Taylor Sheridan's work, even though the headline that I may post for this one may not indicate that. If anybody took the time to listen to the fucking show, I'd say you'd probably be like, that was the ramblings of a fucking crazy person. You wouldn't be wrong. But I think, if anything was felt, the admiration for Taylor was there, right? I didn't think anybody did bad at their job, even if I was surprised that a couple of them were there. Like, Bernthal and Medina Senghor, Medina Senghore, who played Allison, which was Ethan's wife, John Bernthal's wife, and the relationship works, and I like the idea of who their characters are in this. Even if some of the shit was bullshit cliche, and then there was like a kind of a mix up at the ending where it's kind of like, is he, isn't he? And at least for me there was, and I had put my phone down well before this point, where I was just like, well, wait a minute. Is he? Oh, he's not? Oh, no, he didn't? Oh, he did. Oh, no, he did. It's like, what the why am I even doing this? Like, this, we should be definitive. And then we didn't need to have kind of the fucking... I think that there was stuff that you were seeing on screen that was supposed to be meaningful character stuff that was in the book that wasn't necessarily represented on screen enough, or enough screen time, or even well enough written to begin with. So that's all. I think, and which happens with fucking novels being adapted in the books. It always loses something, right? You know, and I think unfortunately, I think you can tell when those moments are, where it's like film, the book, film. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't seize. You know what I just learned, speaking of book adaptations, films, books being adapted into films, I just learned that there was a whole lot that was left out of Lord of the Rings. There's so many nerds that are listening. I'm a nerd too, just in a different way. We're all nerds in different ways, but there's so many people that love Lord of the Rings that I know for a fact listen to the show are like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You're just now finding that. Yeah, man, I didn't read the book, so of course I had heard throughout the years, people were like, dude, they left so much out of the books. But finally now, you know, I'm older, I've read the books, and I've seen the film, the extended versions, and I've watched all the bonus features. I don't know how, I must have just like missed this disc of the bonus features, but I was like, oh shit. And I guess what helped me more was the graph that they kind of did, like that they put what they took out and then they stacked it in terms of what they did for the film, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I guess, you know. But this was so recent that I read the books, I must have forgotten. The disc is what I must have forgotten about. Anyway, sometimes the adaptation to the fucking film doesn't necessarily work, or everyone was happy with the product. They were like, no, man, we got our fucking moments, when our warm moments when we needed it. We had our redemptions for the certain characters that needed it, even though some, I don't want not want to ruin. But we had all of it. We had all of it. It just didn't.